Matanani from Croaky here, and we're at the final day of the World Indigenous Suicide Prevention Conference here, and I'm here with Maria, who is one of the delegates from New Zealand. Maria, could you introduce yourself, please?
So, kia ora koutou, na mihi mahana kia koutou. No uri ahau Te Tai Tukurau, ko ngā pui me Te Rarawa. So I'm from a place called Te Tai Tukurau, which is Northland. My people are from the west coast of the North Island, a place called Hokianga. I trained as a registered nurse many years ago, but I'm currently have the privilege of working for Te Rau Matatini, which is the national Māori Health workforce organisation, and we manage a suicide prevention program that focuses on Māori communities and building their capacity and capability in regards to how to address the issues around suicide.
And what would you say are the key features of that approach? What are you doing that's working well?
It is very much led by Māori. We have a strong emphasis on our own customs, blending in our principles of what we know has worked well with us to keep us together as families, to also embed our value base of the things that we hold dear. It is also about enabling the potential and education and support for a lot of our communities. So we have a number of strategies, but one of the programs that we're doing at the moment, which is really awesome, is getting into family homes. So we set a target earlier this year of 1,000 whānau homes, or family homes, rather than doing a lot of the community awareness, which we still do to a point, is to actually target communities and to recruit champions to come on board to facilitate an approach with what we do, and also have access to toolkits. So it's a different kind of method, and what we do is look to recruit family homes and work with the whole family in regards to how to build resilience, stay strong, stay positive and be proud to be Māori, as well as have a really good understanding about some of the challenges that may lead us to consider or think of suicide or the risk of. So it's a bit of a blend of what we call whānau ora. A whānau ora is a concept that it is very much about keeping the family whole. It's about any health and social well-being, building resilience in that as a whole family. So it takes into all accounts of what a family might look like in these days.
So how would that actually look in action? Can you describe what you would do with a family?
Yeah, sure. Look, the first philosophy that we are informed by, that we believe in, is that there are champions in every family. That there are champions. There are these people that are stalwarts in families, that are the go-to, that have helped others, that have supported others in bad times, or even just in regards to mentoring to get people through to meet achievements. It could be coaches, it could be teachers, but it could be just mum and dad, it could be a really cool uncle, it could be an older sibling. So what we do is we put a call out to communities and invite people to come to the table, so to speak, and say, look, we've got this one-day program, we've got these toolkits, and there are a number of us within our own team who are Māori, who are connected into these communities that have an understanding of how to build our own community capacity and capability, and have an understanding about how to address the issues associated with risk of suicide and all the terrible things that might lead down that pathway. So the call goes out, we set up a venue, we go meet, we provide training, and what ends up happening is that we find that numbers of people are drawn to this issue about trying to address suicide within their communities. And there are people that have either been impacted themselves personally or as family members, and have been working in their own ways around community to address these issues and to build the strength within family. We then go through a bit of a process. We have what we call wānanga. Wānanga is our form of learning. So it's not sort of a didactic process where you just get information. There's a whole lot of type of other learning that can happen in that process, which is very much sort of mind, spirit, and your whole soul. And so we do a lot of blending using our reo, or our language, our customs. We do song, we do all sorts of things. And so it blends into an approach. Then what happens after that workshop, if you want to call it that, people then will say, yes, I'm really keen to be part of this program. Then what we do is we have quite an administrative support process. They're then brought on as part of our team, of our champion team within these communities. They're then supported by our office. They get access to toolkits, they get access to us. and we mentor and support them whilst they're doing the work within their community. So they will do things like work with their own church or their communities, or some of the groups that we've been particularly working with are in rural areas. So many of them are part of village communities, if you like to call it that. So they have access to our customary whare or our marae, to schools or just to their local region. And so they'll put out either use Facebook, or they'll text, or they'll ring people, and they'll pull people together and gather. And then what they will do is facilitate what they've learnt, using the toolkits and the information from the workshop on to others. And then what happens is that then we get feedback. So we've been doing this, as I said, just from the beginning of this year. We set our benchmark at 1,000. We're a quarter way there at the moment, and we've found some really awesome feedback, and just in terms of how people are feeling. So we've got this beautiful feedback from champions who are saying, thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you for enabling us to do this work with the people, and also working with the families that have been in receipt of it. So we're doing a couple of methods in our evaluation at the moment. The people that they're meeting, we're using what people might know as photo voice. We're calling it whānau voice or family voice. And so in part of their feedback, we're asking families to capture in photograph and describe what it has been like for them to be to have this program come into their homes. And then we're also doing the evaluation process with the champions. It's all coming together now, and it's showing us some really awesome highlights in terms of, it's really very much about shifting the power base from professional help seeking type services. It's very much about enabling people to have the ability to do what it is that they believe to do, but with the extra support and know-how, and also the ability to kind of build critical mass, if you like to call it that, within community. So it builds on previous work that we did before, but we needed to really intensify as an organisation to get into homes, because unfortunately for us as a people back in New Zealand, we're still impacted by the loss, and particularly with our young people are still taking their lives. And so we really need to intensify getting into the family home and trying to find a way to do that that's not threatening, that's not judgmental, it's not like a group of health professionals coming in, nothing like that, but it's actually their own, working with them side by side in community and supported by us as an infrastructure. So that program's called Chaki Whānau, Chaki Ora, and what it means is to protect family, protect life.
Fantastic, really interesting to hear. And I presume there's a website, but we might need you to spell it.
Yes.
I'll get that from you and I'll put it on our link.
Happy to.
And just on the being here at the conference, the World Conference started yesterday. What's your takeaway so far, and what are you looking to hear?
I think, first of all, there are First Nations people here, and there are also people who are supportive of First Nation communities who have all come to hear, to listen, to learn, to debate, hopefully, some of the strategies that are working amongst our communities. We've been really fortunate in New Zealand that we've been supported, particularly by Dr. Pat Dungeon and co from the University of Western Australia, and have been doing also some work with Canada and the US over the time to really look at some of our issues, what can we learn from them, are there some common threads. So for us in New Zealand, it's really important that we have the ability to compare our evidence and finding with another alike community and nation, rather than with Western and non-Māori models and evidence, because it's almost like apples and pears. But coming here, it is sort of reaffirming. The other thing too, I guess most of us enjoy the connections, the relationships, the creativity and how things are actually created, developed and delivered. That's really lovely, and particularly from young people. So we've got a bit of a team here that are presenting. So for me, this is the first time we've brought in such a big cohort. There's about 10 of us here, and out of the 4 out of the 10 are under 25. So this is a real opportunity for us to also provide a bit of a profile for them, but also to give them some experience of what it's like to present at an international conference and to share some of the things that they're doing back home.
Fantastic. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.